Welcome to Jahangir Hospital Pediatric Department. Greetings from Jahangir Hospital. The main aim of this session was to allay the anxiety of most of the parents out there, the grandparents, the uncles and aunts about what exactly is this third wave which is expected to affect the children. So let's talk about the preparedness of Jahangir Hospital regarding the SARS-2 COVID-19 infection, which is expected to affect the children in a big way. But let me tell you at the outset that though it is expected to affect the kids in a big way, what we have seen in the last two waves, that though the kids were affected, the signs and symptoms were very mild, and hardly 1 to 2% of those who had infection landed up in the ICUs. So with that brief introduction, and about myself, I would like to tell you that I am the senior consultant here, pediatric general consultant here. And along with general pediatrics, my area of interest is adolescent medicine and also infectious disease. And I'm happy to let you know that I would be president of the prestigious Indian Academy of Pediatricians for the year 22-23, and with around 750 pediatricians under our wings and many more to join. With this brief introduction, let me tell you what I'm going to discuss with you today is what are the common signs and symptoms that you should look out for the COVID infection in children. Now the age group that I'm going to talk to you about is right from age 0, that is the newborn kids, to the age 22. So this is the age that comes in our purview. So with that, let me tell you how what kind of symptoms would you expect in a newborn. In a newborn infant, what you would expect is poor feeding, listlessness, lethargy, the child is not doing well, poor weight gain. So these are few of the signs and symptoms that the parent should be aware of. But again, a word of caution is not all these symptoms are pointers to COVID-19 infection. So what the main aim of this talk is, please reach out to us. We are here to help you 24/7 about all that you need to know about the COVID-19 infection that is expected to affect children. Now let's talk about a little older age group, that is the preschoolers or the toddlers or the kids who are going to schools. What are the kind of infections that you would generally see in this age group? You would see dengue, you would see flu-like symptoms, you would see viral infections, you would see hepatitis, you would see typhoid. And let me tell you, most of these symptoms that you see in these illnesses are something that the COVID-19 infection fools us with. So let me tell you a few symptoms that you would see in kids of this age group. What would you see? Like stuffy nose, runny nose, cough. Now word more about cough is how different is this cough from routine infections to the COVID-19 infection. See, most of the mothers out there have kids who come with common symptoms like, every season they are coming up with runny nose and cough and cold. So how would this symptom be different from the symptoms of COVID-19 infection? In COVID-19 infection, the cough would be more severe in intensity, may be associated with labored breathing, or by that I mean is difficulty in breathing. So if your child has any of these symptoms, please call up your pediatrician and find out whether your child needs to be assessed immediately or you can wait. So these are few symptoms that you would see in infants and preschoolers and children. Now, do children have loss of sense of smell and taste? Yes, they do, but they are not able to emote like adults. So what would they manifest as? They would manifest as not feeding well, not eating well, becoming picky eaters. So if your child who was fine up till now doesn't have any symptoms but is coming up with these kind of small issues, then yes, probably you should think of calling up your pediatrician and finding out whether this child needs to be reviewed. So these are few of the symptoms that we do see. Now let's talk about breathlessness. Just simple breathlessness in any kind needs to be assessed by a pediatrician or your doctor, whoever your child has been seeing. Now breathlessness could be associated with chest pain, could be having heaviness in the chest, the child is having weakness, doesn't want to play. So these are the associated symptoms that you would see in any child who's affected with COVID-19 infection. Also, these days we are seeing children with loose motions, vomiting and pain in abdomen. Now, this is a common symptom that we have seen over the ages. So, again a word of caution here, that don't go overboard when your child is complaining of 1 or 2 loose motions or vomiting. But yes, we are seeing a different trend now. Initially, when the COVID-19 infection began, we were seeing more of respiratory symptoms, but now we are seeing gastrointestinal symptoms as well. Now, these are few of the symptoms that are commonly seen. Some of the severe ones that the child may come up with is like convulsions, sleeping excessively, not waking up. A normal child who is not waking up to your routine commands is probably something that you should be worried about. Now, with this in mind, I would like to go on to other things that I am going to talk to you about, that in case your child turns to be COVID-19 positive, what do you do? The first thing is the parents panic that, oh, my child is positive. What are the things that you need to do under home isolation? These are few things that I am going to tell you that you need to do under home isolation. Is maintain your child's hydration. By hydration I mean is give the child a lot of fluids, maintain a good diet. Now, what do you mean by a good diet? These days on the social media we are seeing a lot of quick fixes, like to improve your immune system, to improve your weight, to improve your overall well-being. Let me tell you that there is no such one-step quick fix where your immunity is concerned and where your health is concerned. So all these years we've been looking after our children with our routine diets, which we have been following for years. Please stick to those routine diets. By routine I mean that your plate should have 1/3 proteins, 1/3 fats and 1/3 of carbs. Now, in proteins, what can you give your child? Good proteins is lean meat can be given in the form of chicken, in the form of eggs, in the form of fish, and in case you're eating pork and beef, yes, that too is okay. Whatever is your staple diet is fine. Your child's plate should also contain a lot of fruits and veggies. Now, in this lockdown situation where you are not able to go to the grocers very often, yes, sometimes fruit juice is recommended. Now, fruit juices against cut fruits, I would definitely say go in for cut fruits and not for juices, because they have a lot of added sugar and additives to keep these juices in good form, like preservatives, which you don't want to give your child. So, fresh salads, fresh fruits is one part. Your proteins, your carbs and your fats is another part. Secondly, how should the meal time be? In a lockdown situation where all of us are at home, the kids are at home, what happens is the waking time, the eating time, the sleeping time, the studying time, everything has gone for a toss. So, how do you manage that? Some discipline has to be maintained where your food is concerned, your meal times are concerned. So, what we recommend is 3 major meal times should be there, like your breakfast, lunch and dinner. The timings should be fixed as far as possible. Food time and screen time don't go together. For the simple reason is your child has no idea, or you don't have any idea as to how much of food the child is consuming. So, please do not have meal time and screen time together. So, this is one part. Yeah. Now, we go on to the second part, is exercise during the lockdown or when your child is COVID positive. As far as possible, your child is not circulating with other members in the family or the other kids in the family. Now, it's difficult to have a kid restrained in a room. So, the adults in the family have to maintain social distancing, should be wearing a mask and hand sanitization. This goes in for the universal precautions that you need to take at any point of time. One small aspect that I desperately want to tell you is about exercise. In the lockdown, or if your child is restrained indoors, what are the activities that you could tell your child? If the society has permitted your child to be outdoors, yes, cycling, jogging, running, any of these outdoor activities can be managed. But if it's rainy season is beginning, so what do you expect your child to do when at home? Is yoga, Zumba, any kind of online activity that is permitted can be done. And with this, I would like to reiterate that please reach out to your pediatrician. We are here to help you 24/7, and Jahangir Hospital is planning to start a helpline which will help you to get in touch with us 24/7. And just a small quick word as how we are prepared at Jahangir Hospital. The third floor has got the mother and child unit, which houses the NICU, the PICU, the Sunshine ward, and a dedicated ambulance to transport your kid from any point to Jahangir Hospital. So with this, let me tell you, be assured that people out here are there to look after your child if your child has a problem, which is just 1 to 2% of those who are severely infected. And if there are any issues that you need to connect with us, please do so at the Jahangir Hospital. With that, I thank all of you for patiently listening to this, and I would like to tell you that there is no reason for panic, and whatever infection we expect is going to be in an extremely mild form. Thank you so much.